Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody's doing great. I'll just give everybody a minute here. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to run through this Christmas wreath embossing folder. It's gorgeous. I'm just going to run it through my machine. It comes with the die. I think this is going to look really beautiful. There's a stencil, coordinating stencil, and it'll look beautiful, I think, with or without the stencil. All right, I'm just going to run this through. Give everybody a minute to pop in. Hello, Tamara. How are you? Hello, Debbie. I know there's a few more people on, but it's not telling me anyone's names, but welcome. I'm just running this Lisa Horton embossing folder through my machine because I wanted to give you guys a close-up look at it. So before we get to all this stitching, oh, it's really pretty. Hello, Carly. So we'll look closer at this in a few minutes. How's everybody doing? It's beautiful here in Calgary. We've had a lovely week. Definitely cooler in the evenings. The leaves are starting to change. But really, it's kind of been a really nice lead up to fall. I haven't looked at the weather. I'm sure we'll get some kind of surprises, but for now it's nice. So I decided I'm going to head out and go for a walk after my live, because you just, you never know how long the weather is going to stay nice. I don't see any comments on my iPad, but I think they're going to come up on my phone. What's everybody been up to this week? Thursday already. The week is flying by. We are going to look at the 12 days of Stitchmas. Does anybody have their calendar? Are you planning to get the calendar? I'm going to give you a look inside. I love the retro vibe of this calendar. And I'm just going to, Tamara, if you're still there, can you just give me a thumbs up or a quick comment just so I make sure that's coming through. Hello, Tracy. So when you get your calendar, it's wrapped in plastic and you can take that off. There's 2 different calendars this year. And, oh, good, perfect. So I'm going to give you a look at both. I have only opened the boxes in the first 2 of this Stitchmas one. And I think I have watched Jennifer McGuire's video. So Jennifer McGuire just put out a video and it shows you actually what's in all of the pockets if you love to kind of get sneak peeks. And I will probably go ahead and open this. Rosie and I are going to make some projects for Scrapaganza to display. But I think I might, even though I did watch Jennifer's video for the other advent calendar, I think I might open that daily. What do you guys think? Do you like opening them day by day, or would you rather know all at once? I'm going to try and zoom out a little bit here. can't see exactly all, but see when you open it up. So this is the 12 Days of Stitchmas, and it has 12 different days that you can open up. So I had gone ahead, and so if you don't want spoilers, then you shouldn't watch this video. Hello, Irene. I had opened up already day number 1, and I think what I'm going to do afterwards, I love these, the letters and the font and everything. And I don't need to keep the whole box, but I think I might cut out the individual panels and use those. Those would be really cute, I think, on a scrapbook page. So number 1 is a cute little tree, and you get, it's actually really done really well. So you can see that you get the tree and how it goes together. Hello, Heather. And then open up the little bag, and you've got all these little pieces. So these trees are fabulous, and you can decorate it with this cute little garland. You can add the star. You've got the little hanger. So this would be really cute too for an ornament. That would be awesome. And what I plan to do is just use some magnetic sheets. So this was day 2, and this is what we're going to use today, just to show you how to do some stitching. You don't have to do any stitching. So if you felt like, you know, you just wanted to cut them out, play around with them, the stitching is super easy. But you can also use a pen or a metallic pen. But I think I'm going to keep them on little magnetic sheets, and that will be easier. But you'll definitely be able to mix and match, like the holly leaves, the candles, you could use them separately. So that's day 1 and 2, and I haven't opened the rest. Like I said, I did watch Jennifer's video kind of in the background, but I have forgotten everything else. So then you just open them up day by day, however you want to do that. I also like starting these now because I feel like then I can get a head start on making them. These are great too to cut out felt if you want to make ornaments. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Bonnie. So lots of fun in that. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make this card, or I'm going to show you how I made it. And Rosie, I told them that we were going to make some projects out of this for Scrapaganza. So this is the candle, and then you get these holly leaves, which of course can be used for anything. This is from I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's the stencil. It's like a floral stencil, and you get, in the die set, you get these sentiments, and so you can see it impresses. And I love cutting out metallic cardstock. I feel like it does a really good job of cutting out metallic cardstock and looking very cool. And we've got some robin's nest dewdrops. So we're going to work on that in a minute, but I want to show you a couple things. First, so we have, this is new from My Sweet Petunia, who makes the Misty, and Tonic Studios, and they've come out with the Precision Glue Press. And so in the box you get this glue gun, I guess you would call it. You get a full thing of glue, of Tonic Nouveau adhesive. Then, so you get the full one, you get an empty one. This is the replacement. Let's look in here for the empty one. You get a replacement so that you can fill this with whatever glue you want. So if you, I love this Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. This is the glue that you get. It's a really great glue. And so you could refill it with that. You could refill it with the Art Glitter glue, the Bearly Arts glue, and we are going to get the Bearly Arts glue in the shop, which is exciting. And I've heard great things about that as well. So you can refill this with whatever you want, and then you just pop it into the glue press. This comes already in it. and you unscrew it. So this one has the really fine tip nozzle. You can use either one, just the regular nozzle. The fine tip has this little pin that just goes right into the center. So you have that really fine tip. Even without the tip, I find that it's a really small nozzle, which is great for applying it to thin areas. Hello from Turner Valley, Stacy. Oh, a company field trip. Nice. Well, it's a lovely day to have a company field trip. Let me grab a piece of scrap piece here. So I think this is called effortless gluing. So you know how a lot of times if your glue is getting to the bottom or you really have to squeeze it, it's kind of a pain. So I think especially if anyone has any dexterity problems, this may help. And so what they are recommending is you just squeeze the trigger, and I'm barely touching this and it's really coming out easy. So I would say, I'm quite impressed about that. And that fine nozzle really does work really nicely, especially for thin die cuts. And then you also, in the box, you get this base, so you can set this anywhere, and then you can just place your glue in the holder and it holds it like this. And so what they're saying, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to go down. Sorry, it's supposed to go down further like this. So then when you put the glue bottle in, you can see it touches this rubber stopper, and that is preventing any air from getting in apparently. And so your glue doesn't clog, and you can just leave it there. The glue is always in the top. I like that, especially for when my glue is getting low. So yeah, it seems like it's really handy. You just pick it up then and go on with your gluing. So we're going to use that today. This is also in the shop. It's the replacement nozzle and bottle. So you get that fine tip and you get the refillable bottle. So you can put any kind of liquid glue that you have in there. So those are both, I believe, in the store right now, which is awesome. What else do I have to show you here? Let's move this. Hello, Darlene. I'm just going to see if I missed any comments. I don't think. When Sienna, do you know when we will have, then do you know if they will have these next weekend so I can pick one up when I'm there shopping? Sienna, sorry, I missed your comment earlier. Are you looking for this? If there's anything in the shop, you can purchase it and say that you're going to pick it up at Scrapaganza, if that's what you mean. And that's on the 22nd and 23rd. So yeah, anything in the shop you can buy. You can just say in the comments you're going to pick it up there. Just put local pickup and say we'll pick up at Scrapaganza. And then anything that's, if you're looking for something specific that you want Sandy to bring in, you can email her at sandy@scrapshotz.com as well. And be sure to come by and say hi. Be nice to meet you. And I think I'm caught up on everything. Will this work if you refill with other glue? Yes, Darlene. So any liquid glue. So this is the refill bottle that you get in the box, or you can purchase that separate refill bottle, and then you can refill it with any liquid glue. So anything like art glitter glue, Barely Arts, a larger tonic bottle. There's lots of different liquid glues that are great. So yeah. Okay, this is so we have 3 make and takes at Scrapaganza with scrap shots, and oh, perfect. This is one of them. Rosie is doing the other 2, and they are beautiful. And this is just something that I put together the other day, and we're going to do some stamping and some coloring and make a fun little shaker card. So I thought I would give you guys a little peek. The make and takes, each company that is at Scrapaganza is going to do a make and take. So throughout Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd, there'll be a make and take schedule posted there, and you can, for $2, do a make and take. So if you're scrapbooking with us, if you're cropping for the weekend, then you can just pop by and, you know, do the make and take when it's running. And if you're coming to shop, then it's $5 for your entry fee, and you get to shop as much as you want, and then you can choose your make and takes for $2 each. So I thought this was kind of cute. We've got some sparkly, fun elements, some shaker stuff, and you get to try out making a little card, and then you take this away when you go. So I think that will be fun to do. That's using Tonic Studios supplies. Hello, Jennifer. So here we have the Crafty Advent Calendar. The other one is the 12 Days of Stitchmas Advent Calendar. This, when they brought their Advent Calendar out last year, it went really quickly. And I think that we stocked up this year just so we would have a few extra. So we have them in the shop right now, and we will also bring them to Scrapaganza. And when you open it up, you've got all the little doors, and you can just choose them. Now or go day by day, or you can pre-open them if you feel like you want to get started sooner. Jennifer McGuire, I was mentioning, did the spoiler video, and so she opened all the doors, and there's a lot of really, really nice stuff. Hello, Jenny. So I think this is going to be fun, and my girls and I really like doing advent calendars. So Erica has chosen, what was it that she chose? It was a toy one with some little tiny toys in it. And Amy chose a David's Tea calendar. Amy's 16. So she gets different teas every day. And this was my calendar. So we will all have fun opening our calendars. And I always try to include a scrapbook page about the calendars that we're using. And I'm excited to actually get in on the Advent calendar fun this year too. So those are in the shop, and if it's something you want, make sure that you order them because they tend to go fairly quickly. And then I thought I would just quickly show you this. Now, I may have showed you this last week. I can't remember. I did show you a bunch of Lisa Horton ones. These ones I'm going to do some samples for Scrapaganza. So I pulled this one out and embossed it. And we'll see how time is running today, but even just on white and embossed, it's gorgeous. And then you get the die in the package. So you get the folder and the die. If I can find how to open it. And separately, you can purchase the stencils if you want the stencils as well. So here's the layering stencils. We may as well open these up and just show you. And then over the next week, I'm going to get some projects done with these. But I figured we may as well just open them up. When I'm stenciling and embossing, I actually like to stencil first and then emboss. But I think you could do it either way. Let me make sure that I actually have the right, So you're going to figure out where to line it up. And this says number 1, so you can start at number 1. And then of course you would want to find out when you figure out where to put it. And obviously this is why I pre-plan when I'm doing this stuff, because when I'm doing it live, I'm like, I don't know which way it goes. So I would go ahead and do all the embossing, and you can kind of see, or all the stenciling, you can kind of see how those layers go. It tells you the numbers. Then you can do the different colors and layers. Maybe I can kind of tell on this, but that's why I find it easier to do the stenciling and then actually put it in and emboss. I'm gonna have to do that after. And you've got a couple different layers of the flowers. You've got some accents on the flowers. This looks like it's the middle of the leaves. Yes, so you can see here how there's some darker leaves and the centers are darker. You've got the middles of the flowers and the centers of the flowers. So even some of these, if you wanted the center to be like a glitter paste or something, you could wait till the end and do this part at the end. That would be beautiful. And you can just do the stencil and not the embossing folder as well. So there's lots of different options. We did one of the stencils last week. We played around with the hearts and flowers. So if you're interested in kind of seeing how those work, then definitely check those out. But that's the Christmas wreath. Here's that. And the corner poppy. So that looks beautiful as well. So you can kind of keep an eye on, when I finally do get something done with those, I will get that posted. And let's grab our card and we'll get to crafting. So this is day 2 of the Stitchmas calendar. Hello, Amanda. And I've cut out the pieces. So I cut out some extra. I do like that even though these candles and the flames are the same, they've actually given you 2 of them because they're going to layer so that you could cut 2 at once. So I cut 6 leaves and I stitched this one already, but I wanted to wait and show you how to stitch this. I'm going to grab my card, that would help. This is the base. I used some Vicky Bouton paper from last year. She's got the Peppermint Kisses out this year, which is beautiful. I just don't have any paper, I realized, so I just ordered that. But this might even still be in the store, the Evergreen and Holly line from last year, and it's beautiful as well. So I used that paper on the background. And I think if you had a bunch of these done, then it would be really easy to put together some cards. So I cut everything out. I've got the berries cut out of some Tonic Studios metallic cardstock, mirror cardstock, which is really pretty. But you could also use like the Robin's Nest dewdrops. Those would be really pretty. And I have just some floss, some embroidery floss. Now, I made myself up a little tin. So this is just one of those little Tim Holtz tins. And I took, I've got some plastic embroidery floss holders. So I picked some basic, like a basic rainbow of colors, and I put the floss onto this holder because, you know, as soon as you pull a little bit of thread off the floss, it seems to like the whole thing is this huge ball of mess. So I wrapped it on here so it wouldn't be all tangled. Then I've got a little tag that I keep in the top, and if I have some leftover thread, I just wrap it around and that just sits in there. And then I can actually take anything that I want with this and a little bag and take some stitching if I'm going somewhere, if I'm going to watch Erica's soccer game or something like that, and just do some stitching. So I've got a needle and I split the thread in half. So it has 6 strands. You can use 6 strands. You can use whatever you want. I decided to split it in half. I feel like Edward Scissorhands because I had a cut here, and I decided last minute to stick a Band-Aid on. Now, if you fold over your thread, I find that it's a lot easier to get through. So you just make a little fold, and I do that over the needle, especially if you have a needle that's doesn't have a huge eye, but you can also have the needle threaders. Those make it really easy as well. So I fold it over and pull it off, and then I just have this little bit of thread here, and probably now I won't be able to get it through because it's, you know, Murphy's Law. And then I just push the needle down and pull it, and that usually seems like it goes through pretty easily. And then I have my tail of glue. So this, I decided to do a tone on tone. If you wanted to add some metallic thread, before I do that, I'm going to do one more thing. I decided to use just the floss, but you could use metallic thread with the floss or just use a few strands of the metallic thread, and that works as well and is very pretty. And I'm just doing the tone on tone. So before I forget, I'm going to add a little bit of ink around my edges, and I grabbed this Pink Fresh cube. It's from the Indian Summer Pink Fresh set. And I just want to add a little bit around the edge. Now, sometimes it's easier. You have some first time stitching happening. Oh, you'll have to show us, Jenny. Yeah, I love stitching. I think it's just, you know, kind of that therapeutic. You're just doing it, not really, you don't have to focus on it or think too much. I'm just going to grab some of this media grip mat so that I don't have ink all over my background, number one, and because then it prevents this from slipping all over the place and you can kind of have a little more grip. I actually forgot to ink this one, so I'm just going to carefully add a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I think if you are going to ink up, it's easier to do that before, obviously. Okay, so we've got our orange ink on the flame now, and you could just as easily cut everything with white cardstock and then ink it with colors too. And then I've got the Altenew green ink, and same thing, I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of ink. Whoops. Need to move this up a little bit. To my leaves, and I really like the way that that just adds a little bit of color. You can kind of see, look how nice that looks. It just accents those lines. And then afterwards, this media grip mat just comes clean by wiping it with a cloth and some water. So has anybody else been working on some stitching stuff? Have you done any of the Spellbinders stitched projects? I've done this sweater before. There's the stitched sweater that's in the shop, and that's really cute. And I'm looking forward to doing more of these little projects. They actually don't take long at all. Then I can move this and I can wipe it off after. All right, so we have our neutral thread, and you can, I think that Sandy is ordering in the stitching add-on kit from Spellbinders, so with different, there's different colors of floss, and I think there's some, just kind of some cute accessories that go with it. But you can use any floss that you have. I have a huge container of floss. My girls make friendship bracelets out of it. So we have a huge box. So what I've been doing with this, because they are pretty small and you could put a piece of tape, but you can kind of see here there's not really much room for the tape. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of glue, and I find just pressing this on, it dries pretty quickly. I am going to hold it just for a minute, because if you pull it hard, of course, right now it's going to come off. But if you just kind of pull it a little bit tight, it's almost stuck already. So you're just going from one end to the other. You could have fun with this and just do like a zigzag stitch at the top. You could do, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hello, Christy. You know, you could do crisscross, just have fun with it. Now, if you wanted to, you can definitely go through and back up again, and through and back up. But if you had a smaller piece of thread, or you just wanted to kind of save your thread, then you can actually just go to that next hole, because nobody's going to see the back. And each time you pull your thread through, you're just pulling it not super tight, but just tight enough so that it pulls the last stitch. And then I'm going to just hop over here. So I'm not actually going around and around and around, and it just means that I don't have to cut another piece of thread, which is nice. So, and then I'm just going in through the back. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I find just pulling it just a little bit tight each time just allows that last stitch to tighten up. And then when you get to the end, I just pull it tight enough so that it's not bending, but it's just doesn't have much give. And then again, I'm just adding a little bit of glue and holding that down and trimming it off. And then that's going to be your candle base. That's done. Isn't that pretty? And I have seen some of them in metallic, and the metallic thread is really pretty as well. So here we have a piece of yellow. Same kind of thing. I've got 3 strands on here. I think 3 is enough, but I think if you wanted a really thicker look, then you could definitely go for more. And that just pushes through. And I don't want to add a knot in it, just because I think a knot would just make it too lumpy. So even if you have a little bit over, I think that's fine, because you can trim it off. And let's add a little bit of glue there. And we'll be able to trim that. So it's stuck to the back, and now you can just go back and forth. This middle hole is a little larger because you're going to go into it each time. So by the time you're done, it will have a little bit of extra thread, more so than those holes that are around the edge. But like, this is so quick. So you could just have all your pieces cut out. If you wanted to add a little bit of ink blending, and then sit down and just start your stitching. So quick, and look how cute that is. You got lost in your scrap room. Well, as long as you were having fun in there, that's okay. We're just doing day 2 of the 12 days of Stitchmas. So again, I'm just adding a little bit of glue to hold that down. We are going to have some foam tape on this, so the stitching is not going to move. But I think this would be really cute with some felt. So they've given you, in this one, they've given you the base piece. And I'm just wondering if you weren't sure about where to stitch. I'm just going to look at the picture that they give you. They don't really have stitching lines on here, so I think you could just do whatever you want, or definitely there's going to be lots of ideas online of how people have stitched theirs. So I like doing that sometimes if I'm not sure how I want to add some stitching. So they've got this little area that you can glue on the flame, and what I'm doing is just making sure that I've got the flame kind of centered, so when I put it on this background piece, it's going to be in the right area. And now I can add my foam tape. Let's see. And always have a spot where you can put your needle, because if you just set it down, you're never going to remember where it is. That's my number 1 tip. So we've got the big roll, which is now small roll, of the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L foam tape, which I love. So I'm going to cut a piece of this, and I think this is a good width for sticking on the back. I'm actually going to cut it a little just because it doesn't really matter, but I'm thinking, like, I don't really want it to show behind those holes. If it shows a little bit here, it's okay. We do also have those thin foam strips, which are nice too. So I know that the girls are working so hard to get lots of projects done for Scrapaganza. So if you're coming, make sure that you come to the booth, say hi. Let's put that on like that. And check out all the samples. Those are fun to look at, ideas for how to put things together. Cynthia, are you going to be cropping at Scrapaganza? I like too that this backing on this foam tape comes off nice and easy. If you do have a little smaller piece, sometimes I find that just using tweezers to position it makes it a little bit easier. So we have a card base, a little bit different paper, but it's still from that Evergreen and Holly paper pad. And then I just cut a piece of vellum. That's another Spellbinders set. So this is going to be over top the vellum. So I find that actually liquid glue sticks or dries pretty clear on vellum, but just to make sure, I'm just going to put it in the center, and it doesn't matter if it shows because something's going to be over top. And then we have our three-dimensional piece, which is really cute. You were lost in your room. Are you? Oh, you're almost packed. Good for you. You overpacked. Yes, that is something I always do. Yeah, you'll have to I guess think about what you want to do. It's always hard. I mean, I always bring too much and then I never get it all done, but sometimes you want choices. So, you know what? I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing either. And sorry, someone is texting me and asking something, so I'm just gonna reply to them quickly. All right. So we have, I'm not going to put this on yet because I want to make sure that it's going to fit. That's another one of those sentiment dies that's included with the stencil set. So this is going to be here, and then we've got these leaves. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of glue. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to glue these first to make a little cluster, and then I can add my clusters. I do like that you can just pick this up and you don't have to unscrew the glue every time, and then that little rubber piece is supposed to keep it from drying out or getting stuck in there. So I will be using this, testing it out. I'll bring it to Scrapaganza, so if you're there or going to do a make and take, then I will bring it along for you to try. So I'm thinking this is going to go here. I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape right on the back. So we'll add that. And it can kind of be stuck so that it's sticking a little bit over. Here I want it to be a little closer, so what I'm going to do is just trim off a little bit of that. I also, if I'm trimming my foam tape, I like to have, these are the Tim Holtz scissors. I don't think they have the red ones anymore, but if you need a pair, that's something that Sandy can order in for you. And I love that they're non-stick. There's also a small little set that's non-stick as well, and those work great. Now for this leaf, I kind of want it over here. So what I'm thinking is I don't need a whole lot of foam tape. I'm just going to put a little bit on this edge and layer it on. You made it, Lorraine. Yes. And I can't remember whether you said you're doing some of this Stitchmas or not. Do you like doing the stitching? All right, we're going to angle that to be like that. And you can always, when you have little die cuts, especially on the end, you can always bend them up a little bit as well and just give them a little bit of movement. Then we've got the three little berries, but you know what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use the robin's nest dewdrops. So I've got this mix, I think it's called chocolate cherry, and then this mix is called mouse. think this mix would actually be a really nice Halloween mix as well. So I'm going to get 2 larger. I like mixing and matching the different collections depending on what colors you're looking for. I'm going to see what it looks like with a small. We can always just add a larger one if we feel like it doesn't work. I feel like that works though. So those are the Robin's Nest Dewdrops. They're in these cute little glass jars, which I love just displaying in my room. Okay, let's add a little drop of glue. You can also use glue dots. Keep these on. So next week, I don't know even know what the date is. Yeah, next week I'm going to be setting up at Scrapaganza. And that will be the 21st, so I won't actually be live next week. But I will try to pop in and just do a little live hello to say hi from the show and kind of show you guys what's going on throughout the weekend. So there's our little sentiment. And really, that did not take long at all. I can zoom back out again. Hello, Maureen. You have it, but you haven't pulled it out yet. Perfect. I can see using this and that tree, and I haven't opened the other ones yet, but I know that there's some really fun ones in the set. I can see using those for lots of different things. And on lots of cards, even just as an accent piece, I think would be really cute. And another thing, let's see, so this was the wreath, which we're going to work on, that, or which I'm going to work on, the corner poppy embossing folder, and that also comes with a die, so it allows you to cut that out. And that precision glue press, those are all in the store right now, as well as both of the Spellbinders advent calendars. I think that's it. Yeah, I hope that you guys have a really fun weekend. If we see you at Scrapaganza, that will be awesome. And be sure to come by and say hi. And again, I won't be live next Thursday because we'll be setting up for the show. But yeah, I hope you guys have fun. Have a great weekend and get some crafting in. Thank you so much, Cynthia. And thank you guys for stopping in and spending your crafty time with me. So I'll talk to you later, guys. Take care. Bye.